Song one. Well, it's Friday, we getting tore up down to the river in the back of Fred's truck. Asked you one time, said it's alright to stand by the riverbed tonight. So now, mama, if I ever get you alone, Daddy don't like you and me being alone. Remember how I asked you, you said it was alright to stand by the riverbed tonight. Tell me that you love me if it's true. I don't want no one, babe, if I can't have you. This Oklahoma breakdown, I know got you crying. Tell you that I love you one time. Tell me that you love me if it's true. I don't want no one, babe, if I can't have you. This Oklahoma breakdown, I know got you crying. Tell you that I love you one time. So now, mama, if I ever get you alone, Daddy don't like you and me being alone. Remember how I asked you, you said it was alright rooting round the riverbed tonight. Tell me that you love me if it's true. I don't want no one, babe, if I can't have you. This Oklahoma breakdown, I know got you crying. Tell you that I love you one time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, big solo. I finally got you home. Daddy don't like you and me being alone. Wake up, let me kiss you goodnight. River can't wait for another time. Tell me that you love me if it's true. I don't want no one, babe, if I can't have you. This Oklahoma breakdown, I know got you crying. Tell you that I love you one time. Listen, baby, if it's true, I don't want no one, babe, if I can't have you. This Oklahoma breakdown, I know got you crying. Let me tell you that I love you one time. Just one more time. Just one more time. Just one more time, let me tell you that I love you for just one more.
There are two kinds of people in the state of Oklahoma, if you narrow it down right. Just two. There are those who have seen the inexplicable talents of Mike Hosty at the Deli in Norman, the reused, possibly washed, possibly not washed red cup in their hand. And there are those unfortunate souls who haven't. I caught up with Hosty, singer, guitarist, storyteller, professor, kazoo aficionado, at the Deli, where he plays every Sunday night and has for the last generation or so. Legend is a big word, but he wears it well. He's a talented musician and an effortless entertainer. As an interviewer, he keeps you on your toes because he's unpredictable. As a fan, he's a blast to watch because you know he's got a knack for off-the-cuff, quirky tunes composed at the drop of a hat, and a gift for kicking up rowdy blues jams playing 15 instruments at a time. He's full of stories and insight. He's thoughtful and sharp, but funny as hell. You weren't born in Oklahoma. You weren't delivered in Oklahoma.
No, my home country is very far away. And when I came to your country,
I'm here as long as you're going to do that.
I tried to. The gypsy, when the circus did not keep records of birth or death, I have no idea how old I am, where I am from, or who my parents are. No, I was born in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, many years ago.
When did you come to God's country, Oklahoma?
God's country? Well, my dad had a series of jobs, so we moved around, and so I came here at the age of 4 years old to Oklahoma City, or the city, as it's called.
That's how we refer to it.
Right.
Dale and Shawnee.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been playing music?
I started when I was 9 years old playing guitar.
Okay.
Because of a playground accident, I broke my arm. I snapped my arm at the very top, right up here. So for a long time, I didn't use my arm for anything.
But don't you need that for a guitar?
Well, you do, to give me something to use it.
Oh, okay.
I got a guitar to play guitar.
Okay.
So I could sit and play.
You got started because medicinally.
Medicinally.
Okay, as some sort of a...
And shamed into it because all my cousins were so good playing.
Okay.
They go like, well, your cousins can play the violin. We're like, well, you know.
Right.
Cousins can. Like, oh, gosh, I guess you better start playing something.
Right. Okay, so then you start playing then. When did you really start creating your own music?
Oh, as soon as I started playing, because I'd be at home and be playing, and I'd have my guitar, you know, I'd have what I was playing, it'd be like. So I'd be practicing it. My parents made me practice for a while. And my guitar teacher was like Bob Ross. Like, he's like, just feel the strings.
Right.
Feel it.
Happy Notes.
Happy Night. He looked just like him.
Really?
Yeah. Joe Bob Nelson was his name. He's still around. But I'd be practicing this stuff like this, and after a while, I just started going, there's a dog in the back, and I got down. It became just like, to make the practicing go by. So, and then they go like, are you practicing in there? And I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm practicing my guitar. And I'd be yelling. She'd go, hey, be sure to practice the guitar.
So then when did you start, like, playing, like, for money?
It's a sad story.
When did you start, when did you start gigging? Like,
when did I start gigging? Well, my first gig was 1987. And it was the Mistletoe Bash. And my friend, David Rice...
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being serious. And he's a childhood friend of mine. He put on this keg party at our high school.
Okay.
Right, so he rented out this big hall, and he goes, would you guys play at my party? And we were like, oh, yeah. So we practiced and practiced and practiced. And we played. Everybody had a great time. It was like, this is the greatest thing, the first gig.
Mm-hmm. Where do you go from there?
Well, then it was a series of very awful gigs. We played the talent show, and it all went to everything went wrong. Like I hit the pedal, and it was.
Yeah.
And we tried to play Pink Floyd Time, and it was terrible. And we played an OK Kids talent show at the Marriott, where before us was a puppet show. Like everything you could think of.
That's hard to follow, a puppet.
Yeah, they go the ventriloquist.
Right, that's tough.
3-part harmony singing Aerosmith band, and then we played, and it was terrible. But we got paid for that one. So that was our first, like, oh, wow, we can make money doing this.
Right.
So, at 17.
Walking the streets of downtown Norman with him means you're going to get stopped half a dozen times by people who recognize him, who want to relate to him, who want to remind him when they saw him last, and who want to tell him way too long stories. He's like a cross between Oklahoma Elvis and the Big Lebowski. Even in the middle of conversation about art and meaning, I watched him stop and talk to his eager passerby fans. Watched him be who they needed, toss a quirky Hosty line that made him smile, make him feel like he remembered them from whatever show they came to, whenever that was, wherever it was. Clearly, he is the soundtrack to some great times. Tell me a little bit about how you got started as a one-man band type situation.
Well, I had a drum in my apartment at the time, and I was kicking it, and I was playing along with music, and my guitar teacher had always told me to tap my foot, so I had that down.
Okay.
And then I played a gig one night at Liberty Drug, and the drummer and bass player refused to play with each other over a botched drug deal. And I went up to the owner, it's free beer night, the place is packed, and I go, my band just quit, like they don't want to play. And he looked at me and he goes like, you better figure out something quick. So I grabbed the kick drum and the hi-hat and I played the rest of the night because I knew I could do one foot. And then if I go like, oh, I can just alternate the other. And I played the rest of the night, and those guys, they didn't play the rest of the night, and I got through it. Everybody danced, it was fine. And then over time, I just kept adding something new. Like, oh, you know, I could play the snare if I turn the kick pedal upside down and put a duct taped a stick on it. And, oh, the kazoo.
Yeah, throw a kazoo in there.
Yeah, kazoo. Oh, the sampler. Oh, you know, just, and it can get a little overwhelming and overboard, but they don't come to see the race. They come to see the wreck.
It's a good line, man. Play everywhere, you play all over the place, but a lot of people do sort of associate a lot of their Hosty experiences with the Deli. Tell me a little bit about your history playing here.
I played here a long time. It's one of the first places I played. When I first played here, the band I had was so bad. They used to have sheetrock on the wall, and they made a list of how bad we were. The band was Zulu King, and they called it Zoo Lurking, and they would list reasons why we were so bad. And one of the reasons they had dartboards, they used to have darts, so we'd set up early. And did the cardinal sin of like testing everything, like ding, 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 and they're like, shut up. Like thinking like, you guys, thank you. So they made this list, and then it's gone now, thank God.
You didn't keep it? You didn't ask for it?
I wish I had it, you know, but they redecorated the whole place. So the things that happen out on the street and the people you meet coming in here, and this is more like it's just really a big gathering place for everybody in town to go.
It sounds like like really communal. It's kind of a musical like touchstone, I think, for Norman. Like it's kind of like it's almost a rite of passage. Like you have to kind of play here. It seems like.
Oh yeah, and a lot of bands get started playing here, and then they get all their friends who go to school and they'll come see them. And you watch it grow, and watch them turn into what they're turning into, and then years down the road they come back and damn. Feels good to be back. I can't believe it.
Well, I've literally, I've spoken to people, like, when I said I was going to be interviewing you, and there's been 2 or 3 different people that I've talked to, like, we're going to talk to Mike Hosty, and one, they're like, wow, that's awesome, and then 2, I saw him at the Deli 5 years ago or so, I was in college or whatever, so give me some stories of playing here.
Oh, God. There's a lot of them. There's been a couple different owners through the years, and one of my favorite was this guy named Greg who owned this place. And Greg was really into like martial arts and weapons and things like that. Yeah. And he goes like, Hosty, do you know any self-defense? And he goes like, well, no. And he goes, if somebody was to attack you in the alley, they'd go, ah! And I was like, and he goes like, yeah, what you do? And he worked me, and he goes like, this is the palm heel smash. And He talked like that. He's right. My favorite was he goes like, what's faster, a gun or a knife? And I go, well, I don't know, Greg. And he goes, here. And he gave me an empty wine box, and he had me stand right up here. And then he stood at the door, and he goes, I want you to count how many shots you can get off before I get to you. And I go, oh, okay. I go, why am I holding the box? and he goes, go. And I go, bang, bang, bang. And he runs up and he whipped out a scuba knife and he goes, and sliced up the box that I'm holding and I'm going, and my first thought was like, I don't have any fingers left.
Right.
And I put the box down. He goes, I see a scuba knife. And he was demonstrating. Yeah, his intention was good, I guess, but scared me to death.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I walked up to the door just the other day, and the guy comes up and goes like, Bill Mitchell. He goes, and I went, what? And he goes, Bill, he goes like, hey, you smoke? And I go, no. And he goes like, well, and he's digging through the bucket outside. And I was standing outside the door. I haven't even come in yet. Mm-hmm. And he goes, Bill Mitchell. And I go, well, what? And he goes like, Bill's dead, dude. He's dead. Bill's dead. He died drinking the Listo. I go, the Listo? And he goes, Listerine. And I go, oh. And he goes like, yeah, you know, Terry's your gut. And he just went through this whole story. And then he goes, sure you don't smoke? And I go, it's bad for you. I goes, kind of like that Listo.
Right.
Yeah. And he goes, Bill Mitchell, hey, he's the first one that brought me out to see you. Oh. And I go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I go, Bill Mitchell. I go, I don't know. I went home trying to figure out who Bill Mitchell was. I ain't got no transportation, baby. She lives all the way across town. I've been waiting all night at a bus stop. I got to lay my money down. I said, blue bus number 29.
So you're obviously a really musically talented guy. You play a hell of a blues guitar. But then you incorporate a lot of comedy, a lot of wit into your show, and then also the music itself. Do you ever feel like one overshadows the other? Do you ever feel like those are you're wrestling with genres there?
Well, you know, like a comedy club, people go specifically for comedy. You know you're gonna laugh when you walk in a comedy club. Mm-hmm. Nobody goes in there and going like, what's going on in here?
Right.
Comedy club. They go there specifically. So, you know, they have it easy in a way because people are gonna laugh anyway.
Right.
At a music club, it's different because they're there to hear music and only music. Mm-hmm. And there's always the guy who's like, shut up and like play him song.
Right.
And I always go, you know, it's part of your ticket price. That's included in the show. This is all part of what you paid to be here for. Yay!
Yeah.
And that kind of gets the crowd on your side too, because they kind of endear themselves to you. And they get on this guy over here for interrupting. And
I mean, it's maybe awkward to talk about, but you're a serious musician. Do you ever feel like you're risking people actually listening to what you're playing because they're too busy laughing, or vice versa? I mean, like, you're kind of mixing genres there that don't necessarily hold hands.
Right, well,
Do you worry about that?
No, because they listen to you, but in the end, when they leave, or you leave a comedy show, or you may not remember all the jokes, you may not remember all the music from the music show, but when you left, you felt good. You remember you felt good being there and everything. Man, I had a good time. Mm-hmm. I don't really remember what happened. And that's where the jokes come in. They keep firing them off. Mm-hmm. And laughter's a part of it, laughing and dancing. Having somebody get up and dance during a show is like much better to me than somebody.
Right.
Because they're moving their whole body and they're,
right.
Wow, they thought they liked this enough where they got up and started doing the worm.
It's the difference between like you tell a joke and somebody says, oh, that's funny, versus laughing. Like the response is organic and real.
Yeah, and people like to put people in categories of, what their genre is. And I know a lot of artists will say like, I don't like to be in a genre.
Right.
But you need to be in a genre because it helps people understand and define what you're doing. And at the same time, you can have multiple genres. So you can have reptiles, amphibians, and mammals. And then out of all your mammals, you have different types of mammals. And that's why that was like the platypus, because you can put different things together. It's got a duck bill and lays an egg, gives milk to its young, and it has hair. It's not a duck. Like, what is it? It's entertaining, and it's also, it makes them feel good, which that's what the music for me is all about, is being able to make them feel good when they come in, make them laugh.
It's got me on my hands and knees.
Life is hard. Mostly we're all just here trying to keep from drowning, you know? But not always. Not always. Sometimes the writer of Ecclesiastes tells us we gotta weep, we gotta mourn. But other times, they're for laughing, they're for dancing, they're for living in the moment with our friends and our brothers and our sisters. They're for forgetting a little and remembering a lot, for being grateful, for being happy in the moments we've been given. Hosty's music lives right there in between the laughs and the dance. Right where it feels good feeling good. You know, Frank Zappa said, "I never set out to be weird. It was always other people who called me weird." And I'm not saying Mike Hosty's weird, but I am saying I agree with the cat when he says he's a platypus.